Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Burgundy School of Business Information Seminar by the Office of International Affairs and THM Club. And my name is Poppy Nopaklau and I'm the MC for today. How is everyone doing?
Fine. Thank you.
Can I have a thumbs up if you are doing fine? Yeah. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to invite our professor, Ajahn Khathat Nixon Chen, to tell us more about the BSB and wine studies.
Okay, so therefore, good morning to you, Marie, and good afternoon to all of you here. And so therefore, well, just a brief introduction. I'm Nixon, and then I look like a Thai, but I'm not a Thai. Yeah. I came from Hong Kong, but I've been in Thailand for a long time already. Yeah. Okay, so therefore, I believe that, yeah, why is it that I was chosen to be a part of this talk is because, firstly, I teach wine studies at MUIC. And secondly, I visited the BSB as an exchange of faculty exchange, yeah, for I think for 5 years, yeah, or 6 years. And then, unfortunately, the past 2 years, I have to conduct the course online, yeah. So that means up to a point, I'm a bit familiar with the BSB. And I'm also a bit familiar with the city of Dijon, which is a very safe city. So that's why I can recommend to recommend the city to you here. And what else? Dijon is located in Burgundy, and that is very close to a lot of famous wineries and vineyards. Yeah. So therefore, up to a point. So therefore, in fact, you can visit a lot of vineyards there if you go to study there. Yeah. Okay, so therefore, firstly, welcome everyone to join this talk here, and I have to thank you all people who organize and then assist this talk. And in fact, one of the objectives, or the most important objective of this course, of this talk, is that we would like to provide more options to students to further the study in the area of wine studies here. So therefore, and in fact, I believe that today, according to the number of students who enrolled in my class here, so I feel that more and more students are interested in having better knowledge in the wine studies. So that's why we organize this talk, and then hopefully we can give students a very good option to proceed with their master degree in wine studies. Particularly, BSB is a reputable university and also in the area of wine studies. Yeah. So therefore, now maybe I leave the platform to Marie, and then Marie can give you a better idea of what the master degree or how many versions of master degree in wine studies that BSB offers. Okay, so thank you. So Marie,
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Chen. That was a great introduction. I think it really shows that our campus is in a great location, and I really hope you will enjoy it. I will share my screen, but before I start, I would like to say welcome to all of you. It's a real pleasure to be here today, and also share information about this very special program we have for you for future graduates, bachelor students graduates. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. There you go. Can you see it properly? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. So I represent a business school called Burgundy School of Business. As Professor Chen was saying, we are a business school located in Burgundy, hence our name. We are a standalone business school. That means we don't belong to a university. It's a bit different from what you can experience at Mahidol. And we are a very old business school. We are more than 100 years old because we were created in 1899. The first students arrived in 1900. So we have a very long experience as much in teaching as well as in research. you can see here a very famous place in the school, and maybe Professor Chen has been there. This is the Learning Center. And at the back here, the brick wall you can see is the original wall from 1899. So I know that in Thailand you have a lot of very old landmarks as well, but this shows it's a bit of a I think it's a good mix between the old and the modern of the modern aspect of the school, and it's quite a recent learning center. We've redone it recently. Now I'd like to talk to you a bit about the reputation of the school. We are a small school, only about 3,000 students, but we have both national and international reputation. As you can see, we currently hold 2 international accreditations, the BA and EQUIS. So these are, I don't know if you're a bit familiar with them, but these are accreditations that are dedicated to business schools around the world, and only 1% of business schools around the world have both of those. We are hoping to get the 3rd one very soon, but I cannot say more about that right away, but we are in a good way to be a triple crown institution. So we're very proud of that. We are also ranked for the Master in Management in the top 100 of the Financial Times. I think it's 60 something. And again, that's a very, very good recognition for such a small school. We've kept rising in that ranking over the years. So that's another place where we are quite proud of the work and the effort we've put in making our school very with a good reputation and an excellence in teaching. We also, so that's for the international recognitions. We also are part of the very first schools, and that's very important for you for international students. We are one of the very first schools in France who have received the French government label that's called Bienvenue en France. Bienvenue en France is a label that recognizes the support we provide to international students at all levels. And it's really important for you as an international student to know that we have not only a long experience in welcoming international students, but we have all sorts of supports to making sure that you have a great experience with us. We finally, nationally, we are part of the Grande École system. Grande École is a parallel system, and I'm not going to say too much about it, don't worry, but it's just to give you an idea that it's a parallel system to the university system. The university system, basically one of the main differences, but it's not the only one, obviously, is that at the university, anyone can enter with a high school degree, whereas with us, you need to take a selective, highly selective entry exam. We also have, and I'll show that to you later, we have a very strong connection to the corporate world, which is not always the case at the university, where it's more about academics, although it's changing. And we are much smaller. Grande École are much smaller. They're dedicated to areas. So there are Grande École in business, Grande École in architecture, in engineering, and so on. So that's also a label of the quality of our teaching, because we have very high standards to be met. Now, this gentleman you have here is our dean, Mr. Stéphane Boursieux. I'd like just to point out a few things that are, I think, a good way to understand how we work. First of all, this is what he said. He believes in the Grande École system. He believes in a school where students are taken as individuals. Basically, at BSB, you are not a number. We believe in helping each and every single student in developing their own personality and their own professional project. And we put in place all sorts of supports, and I'll explain a bit more about that later, but all sorts of individual services to make sure that each student will have their own path. So basically, in the end, we believe that there won't be two exact same path for two different students at BSB. Each student will have their own project and their own BSB experience. We also strongly believe in diversity. There's diversity in nationalities, but also in background. And that, I believe, that shows in different ways when you come and study at BSB. Next. So we were talking about geography just before. I wanted to show you a map so you can figure out a bit more clearly where we're located. So the original campus is located in Dijon, as you can see. It's the main campus. And the other one we created after that was in Paris. We don't talk about Paris much with in this kind of situation because on Paris campus, there are only very specific programs that are on top of that taught in French. So you know it exists, but it's not open to exchange. The latest campus that was created and is in Lyon. That was about 8 to 9 years ago. Lyon, I'll talk a bit more about the two cities, but basically Lyon is the third largest city in France. So it's quite different from Dijon, a different atmosphere in terms of the city. And it's also a way for you to have a different experience if you choose to, if you want to remain in a large city, that could be an option. As you can see, Europe countries in Europe are very close to each other. So you can easily, when you travel to study with us, you can easily travel around, not only around France, it's very well connected. From Dijon to Lyon, it's about 2 hours by train. It doesn't really show here, but it's actually more or less the same to go to Paris. Switzerland is Geneva is only 2 hours away. Luxembourg is also very close. A lot of our students travel to do an internship in Luxembourg, for example. But also as an international student, you'll be very it will be very easy for you to travel in Europe to discover and experience not only the French culture, but also the European culture. And we think that is also part of the experience. A few pictures of the Dijon campus. The Dijon campus, and Professor Chen was saying before, it's in the city center. It's a very nice area because it's quite small. Students don't live on campus; they live around the campus in private studios, or they have roommates. Housemates. They can also be in student dormitories, private student dormitories. We don't have on-campus student dormitories. And yet it's a very safe city and easy for students to go around. So it's not an issue for students not to be able to live on campus. You can basically walk everywhere. You cannot see it here, but the heart of the city is only about 10-minute walk from the campus. So very convenient. It's a very student-friendly city. There's all public museums are free of charge for people visiting Dijon. You can also access all sorts of facilities on campus. As you can see, we have a gym, we have a dance studio, music studios. Basically, the life on campus, and I guess my voice is probably not as good as a student voice, and that's why we welcome you to talk to our current students studying at Mahidol. We can put you in contact with them, but I guess the student life is very important for us on campus. There's a lot of student clubs, and you can really enjoy obviously the teaching first, but also all sorts of activities on campus as well as outside the campus. It's located Dijon is a city that's very historical. You can see the picture on the top right corner. And as we were saying, it's a region of winemaking. That's why, and it made sense to us to develop on Dijon campus wine-related specializations or programs from the bachelor to the MBA level. There are obviously other programs, but at least it was an obvious choice to be made. Dijon is also dedicated to arts and culture, so that's one of the programs you can access, an MSc in Arts and Cultural Management. It's just to give you an idea of the size of the city, is about 150,000 inhabitants. So it's much smaller than the experience you might have in Thailand. But it's, I guess, it's part of making you feel comfortable, because it's quite small. It's easy to get around and easy to find your way. So that's the experience in Dijon and on Dijon campus. Lyon, as I was saying before, is the third largest city in France. It's also the campus is the idea with the campus in Lyon was to recreate the atmosphere, the family-like atmosphere that we have in Dijon. So in spite of the size of the city, it's more than 500,000 inhabitants in Lyon. The atmosphere on campus is very similar. And because Lyon is a very historical city also, but because Lyon is the second largest hub in France, we dedicated this campus more to digital related programs, such as artificial intelligence and so on, sustainability as well. There's also lots of places to relax. There's student clubs. It's a younger campus, so it's developing, but there are lots of activities organized for you as a student on campus. There are some, as you can see, there are some videos of the campuses. You're most welcome. I'll share my presentation. You're most welcome to have a look and to get a feel for the two campuses. These are the areas of expertise at BSB. Basically, what I want to say, you can read the different areas. What I want to say is that we put a lot of effort in research and also in applied research, and finally our purpose is really to infuse that research into the teaching. So when you're a student at BSB, you will benefit from the latest research in these areas, which is obviously a very important component of your academic experience. I think that's about it. These are areas where we have programs, but I'm not going to go into too much details here. You will see later on in the list of MSc programs that I'll be presenting to you that are part of our cooperation, that you can find those areas of expertise that you have here. What makes a grande école, as I was saying earlier, is the connection to the corporate world. And for you as a graduate from BSB, you will become an alumni, and you will be also you will also have access, to our great corporate network. You can see here some examples. We strongly believe that we train students to increase their employability, and we want to give them the most as many opportunities and to have access to be experienced with the corporate world. So you can see here companies, both national, international, multinational companies. There's many more, and you will have access to all of that, the system we have for students to contact companies when they look, for example, when they look for an internship. You will also have access to the alumni network. We have a very strong alumni network, and it's a very international alumni network. You can imagine it was created a long time ago, given the age of the school. So again, that's a main strength as a graduate student from BSB. We also believe, as I was saying before, we believe in individual support, and that you can see in many ways. On average, there will be one teacher for every 40 students. it's very rare that students will be in a very large lecture hall. We believe that it's, and again, Professor Chen maybe can give his experience about that, but the idea is really to create some connections between the students and professors, and amongst students as well. There's a lot of face-to-face teaching. Obviously, we had to adapt with the COVID crisis, but we very quickly, as soon as we were allowed to, we very quickly came back to face-to-face teaching, obviously enhancing the pedagogy with the new technologies, because we learned from the COVID crisis. But again, we believe in face-to-face cooperation between students and professors. Very safe and well-located campuses, I mentioned that before. And finally, as part of the support we provide to students on top of the academic experience, is a series of programs we've put together to help students not only develop their soft skills, but also to develop their professional projects. So with individual coaching, for example, there will be opportunities to have career guidance in larger groups. So, for example, meeting with corporate representatives who will talk about their experience, and that's a way for you to create your own network, to learn more about new industries maybe, or new jobs, and as well as creating and developing your network. There's also lots of job fairs organized throughout the year. So again, all of that is made for you as an individual to build on your experience when you are at BSB, and to prepare yourself for your professional life. Finally, to describe BSB is the internationalization of the campus. We have more than 200 international partners. That means that we have a lot of international exchange students. This year we have about 75 nationalities on campus, which is, again, for the size of the school, is incredible. Lots of international faculty, which is again a great experience to have not only the theory, but the theory applied from different point of views. And I guess that's a very rich source of learning. And as I was saying, a very large worldwide alumni network, more than 17,000 students, ex-students, graduates. Now, why should you choose a BSB MSc program? Because that's the purpose of our meeting today. So as a bachelor graduate, you will be able to apply for one of our MSc programs, okay? And the reason why we believe it's a great opportunity, just to summarize everything I've just said, for its national and international recognitions, to enjoy the pedagogy we've put in place, with the learning by doing pedagogy. We believe that's the best way to not only be able to adapt to changes in today's society, but also to be able to constantly learn the latest from the latest research that's being done. We strongly believe that being in contact and studying, there's a lot of group work to be done at BSB. So you have to at some point be immersed in and be working, with the international students. So that will be very enriching for you. Sorry, I'm having a problem. Oh, sorry, I'll finish this slide. I don't know why it's not working. Here we go. Again, a very close tailor-made guidance all throughout your year of studies here, and the connections with the research and corporate world, which will increase your employability. Very important. So these are the main strengths, the main strong points of our programs I have to present to you today. So as I was saying, as a bachelor graduate, okay, you can apply from March 2023. So even if you're not graduated, you haven't graduated in March 2023, but you will within this academic year graduate, you can apply in March 2023. Study at BSB between September to May, so 2 semesters in 2023-2024. You will have as part of the MSc programs, you will have to write a thesis, and there will be committees in June, September, and December at BSB to evaluate your not only your thesis, but also to confirm that you have graduated. And the actual ceremony will be organized, it depends on the year. It's usually end of March, beginning of April, so that will be the following year. It doesn't mean that you won't have an official attestation to confirm you have graduated from the time you have gone, you have submitted to the committee your thesis, but at least you know that there's an official ceremony. You can start looking for a job at the end of when the committee has made the decision, and obviously you're most welcome to visit us with your family for the actual ceremony. That is the timeline. Are there any questions so far, or should we wait for afterwards regarding the structure of the program?
We have a Q&A session towards the end. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that then. So what are the requirements? The requirements is to be graduated from a bachelor degree. You have to have an English proficiency test. So one of those, it could be IELTS 6.5, TOEIC 785, TOEFL 90. That's a requirement also to graduate from BSB for all master students. A GPA of 3.0. Okay, these are this is the list, sorry, of MSc programs that are open to you. As you can see, there's a very large list. Again, there's detailed information I can send out, and you can check on our website also the curriculum, the type of professions you can have, the kind of career you can have after you graduate. Because there are a lot of programs, I didn't want to go into too much details. I don't know what your intentions are, but at least you have the list here. So you have corporate finance and investment banking, wine management, climate change and corporate finance, luxury management and innovation, sustainable wine tourism and gastronomy, green tech and sustainable societies, data science and organizational behavior, arts and cultural management, artificial intelligence and digital technology management. So you can see, you can find again some of the areas of expertise I mentioned before. Basically, when you apply, you will have to demonstrate some abilities or some strong interests, which I've listed here. Again, it depends on the path you choose to take at BSB. This information will be provided to you later in more details if you need to look at it, if you're interested. The process to apply is, first of all, to contact your International Relations Office, to apply online by March 2023, so by the end of March, and attend an online interview. Now, students are often a bit worried about the idea of an interview. The idea of the interview with our MSc programs, if you meet the other requirements that I mentioned just before, is really, the purpose of the interview is really to make sure that there's a good match between your expectations and what the program can provide you. So there's no disappointment. So just come prepared, but don't worry so much about having to, like, it's not like a job interview, basically. You will have more of a conversation with the head of program. you will be required after you received your pre-admission letter to confirm that you're interested in pursuing with the application, to pay for a 4,000 euro deposits. As a partner university student, you will get a special price, special fees, and so it's about 10% of the actual price of the program. So from students who do not come from partner institutions, and that makes a total of 12,600 euros. So once you've paid the 4,000 euros, you'll be definitely admitted in the program. And you'll have to pay the remaining amount after your arrival between September and December. Different, either you pay in one installment or in several installments, but that will be explained to you later. But basically, that's the budget you should plan. This letter is very important, the acceptance letter, because you will need it to apply for a visa. You will also you might also need it when you're going to, I don't know, for your insurance or things like that. So with this letter, you'll have, unfortunately, some paperwork to do. But my colleagues from the international office who welcome international students organize online sessions before your arrival. So you can ask all your questions. They're very used to welcoming international students. So don't worry. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and I guess that's the best way to make your arrival more comfortable, to be ready, to be prepared. Once you arrive, there will be welcome days, including some workshops, administrative workshops, but also a methodology workshop. And I guess that those are not to be looked upon very lightly, because this workshop is really, I guess, a way for you to understand what is expected from teachers at BSB, and I guess it might be a bit different from what you experience at Mahidol. So we really recommend students to take this, to be serious about this workshop. There'll be a city tour organized, the student club dedicated to international students on both campus. They will welcome you at the airport if it's in Lyon, or in the train station, and take you to your home to help you settle down. There'll be lots of social activities as well. So you should have fun the first few days, and then you can concentrate on your studies. That's the purpose of the first few days. As I was saying before, very quickly I'll go over this line, and that's the last one. You will need a visa. You also need a health insurance. So first of all, an international insurance, and then you're allowed to take the free French health insurance. All of that will be explained to you again later in detail. So there's a lot of information here. I don't want to be going into too many details and yeah, lose you for that. Information about accommodation, though, because it's often a very stressful question from students. We pay for, as an institution, we pay an online platform to provide our students with different types of accommodation. So it could be a homestay, it could be an individual studio, it can be student dormitories, depending on your budget. On both campuses, so whether it's Dijon or Lyon, you will have different types of accommodation, and at least they not only are open 24 hours, 7 days a week, but it can also speak different languages. So finding a private landlord is always more complicated, because you have to manage maybe in different languages. So that's something you can be reassured of, because we will help you through that important step. And the budget, last but not least, roughly for Dijon, you should plan on average 800 euros per month and 900 euros in Lyon. Obviously, that's due to Lyon being a much larger city than Dijon, so the life expenses are higher. Thank you very much for your attention. I don't know if we have time to maybe have a very short film that I shared with you, the link I shared with you yesterday. Could you play this? So it's a little, little time for them to see how the campuses are. Thank you very much. So they can prepare all the questions.
You might not know this, but there's nothing ordinary about you. Your potential is just waiting to be revealed. For that to happen, you need to believe in yourself. Create your own trajectory with ambition. You need to be daring and learn to bounce back from adversity. To be aware of your abilities, your strengths, and your power to take action. However, these things rarely happen by themselves. At BSB, you'll find a setting which encourages you to open up to others and to the world. Here, you stand out. Here, you surpass yourself. Here, you transform yourself. Here, you can perform. But above all, here your imagination has no limits. You will learn that where there's a will, there's a way. That nothing is impossible for you, but nothing's achieved without effort. This awareness is our mission. This is the guidance we want to offer you. Because we are convinced that youth is innately bold, innovative, passionate, and creative. We believe in your ability to make tomorrow's changes. At BSB, we believe in you. So think big. BSB, we believe in you. We believe in youth.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you very much, Ms. Mary, for giving us the useful information and very inspiring video. I think we are coming to the end of the session. Feel free to ask any question to both Ajahn Nixon and Ms. Mary Fanchel Naka, if you have any question. There's a question from Gantiya. Is there any short-term program that BSB can offer to MUIC students?
Yes, we do have a short program. I guess it's not the purpose of my presentation today, but yes, we do have a summer and a winter school dedicated to mainly entrepreneurship and innovation. So that's something maybe you can be in contact with the international office students. If you want some more information, I can also share, I can share it now, our website link to more information about the program.
All right, thank you. The next question from Supasara. How is the rent in Dijon? I would like to know if I go there as a student.
Okay. I guess the rent it varies a lot. We have a partnership with just to show you the extreme, we have a partnership with the local public housing for students. It's about 250, 200 euros, 200 to 250 euros, depending on the types of rooms you're looking for. And you could have 500 euro accommodation. So again, the platform I talked about just before is very useful, because the earlier you apply, obviously, the more options you'll see, but you will also be able to see the variety in prices and options you can have there.
All right, thank you. Next one, what are the benefits of studying wine from Natanan?
Okay, so it's not studying wine. I just want to clarify that. It's wine management, wine and spirits management. Okay, I didn't talk too much about that, but you're right. It's the school, Burgundy School of Business, is aiming to be a reference in the worldwide in wine and spirits management. We have, in terms of investment in that area, we have dedicated a school within the business school that's called the School of Wine and Spirits Business, that not only teaches, as I was saying, from the bachelor to the MBA program level, in this area, but also there's a lot of research and is highly recognized in the research that's being done. I guess Professor Chen maybe can share his point of view, and the idea is really to be a reference in that area. So I guess from a student point of view, when you come and study with us, you not only learn from the best, but also you open up again the network, and we know how professional networking is important today. So you will have opportunities, professional opportunities that you probably wouldn't get elsewhere.
So excuse me, I have a question there.
Yes.
Okay. So therefore now about the master degree, yeah. So in the past, I know that there is a wine international trade, and there's a wine and spirit studies. Are these courses still available?
What we have at the moment is specialization in wine tourism at the bachelor level. We have electives in the master in management in wine. We have an MSc in wine management, which is one of the MSCs that's offered to you students today. So wine management, and on top of that, now we have an MBA in wine business. Mm-hmm. And that's the MBA we've presented to the AMBA accreditation this year. Each time it's different type of audience. The MBA program typically is a program that's given to professionals. So the average age, for example, is about 30 to 40 years old students. So I guess we've covered from the bachelor to the MBA level, we covered all programs. But yeah, this is the offer we have in wine related industry. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Right, and the next question is from Nina. How is the city like in Dijon? Is it a quiet city?
Okay, maybe I answer this question here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right, so now Dijon is a small city, but it does not mean that there's nothing for you to do there. In fact, it's a very self-sufficient city. What I mean self-sufficient is that you find plenty of shops there. You have, without any doubt, wine shops, restaurants, and then I have a lot of it's a supermarket, convenience shops, grocery shops there, and then department stores and the boutiques. For example, you found H&M, you found Mango, lots over there, And amazingly, there are lots of optical shops there. So every time I go there, I will buy a pair of spectacles for me. So in fact, it's a nice city, quiet city, but there are a lot of things. You will never feel bored in that city.
It's there's about 40,000 students. So between the university, the different schools, there's a lot of activities, obviously, for students. It's also a city that's because of its location, it's very touristy. There's a lot of tourists. A lot of people come to taste wine, particularly from all around the world. So there's about 120 nationalities in the city, so people settle down as well. It's not only people just passing by, but it's also people staying to live here, to work here. There's some multinational companies who have settled their offices here as well. So I guess it's a different atmosphere, obviously, than Bangkok. You cannot compare, but it's still a very lively city. It's just that things are very easy to reach. You can easily go everywhere. That's very useful for students.
All right. And this question from Supasara again. It's hard to live in Dijon without knowing how to speak French.
I'm very glad you're asking that question because that's often something students are worried about. All our programs are taught in English. As I was saying, we're in France, but we are in a very tourist city. So there'll be a lot of people speaking English. It doesn't mean they will speak easily in English. They do understand English. I don't know what your experience is, Professor Chen. When you go into a shop, I guess the idea, just a bit like everywhere really when you travel, is to maybe say a couple of words like bonjour or in French when you enter the shop, and then people, I think, will open up more easily. If you don't speak French, they'll manage with their level of English. I'd like to add something very important as well, is that as an MSc student, you're allowed to take French language classes at BSB. So I strongly recommend you do that. If you can take French language classes before you come, you don't have to be fluent in French before you come, but just to make your life easier at the beginning of when you arrive, I think it would make a huge difference as well. So it depends on what you want to do with French language. Do you want to be really good when you leave France? I guess that would be the best situation because you can immerse yourself here in France. But at the same time, not everyone has this intention, and I can understand that. But learning a little bit of French will be very helpful.
But there is no like French language entry requirements, right?
No, because the program's in English. It's just to make your life easier, really. And you can study your French language also at BSB to continue learning when you arrived.
Now about French language, yeah. So therefore, because I was there for several times, as what Marie mentioned, that there is no problem in language barrier. People to speak English, so therefore sometimes, okay, maybe some small shops, they might not be able to speak very fluent English, but at least we understand each other, yeah. So that I don't think you do not need to worry about the language barrier, yeah. I'm an evidence and I'm a witness, yeah. All right.
Can you speak French, Professor Chen?
Well, in fact, when I was studying in my universities years ago, I've studied French for 4 years, yeah.
Okay.
So therefore not because lack of practicing, yeah. So therefore up to a point, well, I cannot really speak very fluently, and I have forgotten a lot, but I can still read, yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay, I'm convinced right now.
I just shared information about the short programs for your student before, who was asking about short programs. In the conversation, I shared the link. And I'll write my email address as well if anyone has more questions.
Yes. Oh, this is the information
For short program, yeah.
for Kantia and other students. Okay.
Yes, the
Maria,
previous students.
I have a question. So regarding to your master degree, does students need to do any internship?
Good question. Thank you. I didn't mention it because, first of all, it's not mandatory. They can. We will provide them with an internship contract if they find an internship. And the second reason is that doing an internship in French when you're not, at least, I was going to say fluent, but it's, I think it's hard to say to someone you have to be fluent, but I guess I have a really good command of the French language. Even if you're doing your internship in a multinational, they will still require that you speak really good French. And since students, it's not the case for many of our international students, they can do it abroad. They can do it, obviously, in Thailand. They can do it anywhere else where they can do their internship in English, and we will recognize that. But there's no credit attached to in the program itself attached to the internship experience. So we will support them and we will help them find an internship or prepare their CV and prepare an interview and so on. But it's not guaranteed. And on top of that, just remember, it's not mandatory. So, but you can, it's an option. Yeah.
Right. Are there any more questions? Okay. If not, I would like to invite everyone to open the camera to capture this memory together with Miss Mary Fanchel.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Another one, 3, 2, 1. Oh, 3, 2, 1. I'll be sending this to the Office of International Affairs. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for attending the session, everyone. That was very interesting.
And thank you to Miss Mary Fanchel and Dr. Kathat Nixon Chen and the Office of International Affairs for making this happen. And I personally think that I like the campus and would like to go there too one day.